Hello everyone, I am Jayant.
I am Harish. Welcome to the Swatantra Show.
We bring you inspiring stories of entrepreneurs building interesting independent businesses, staying bootstrapped. Listen in and enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Swatantra podcast show. Today, we are going to talk to Anand B R, who is the co-founder of Ecoprosus, which is a company that provides smart energy solutions using innovative technologies, Internet of Things, AI, ML, etc. Welcome to the show, Anand. Thanks for your time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure as well, Harish and Jayant. I'm so glad to be here and share my views.
So, Anand, you have been in your professional experience, you have been in a variety of roles, from being a key player behind the growth of PayBack. You led business development at technology companies like Telebrahma, Ogre, and now you're the co-founder of Ecoprosus. In this, you have spanned across retail payments, consumer technology, B2B, and a whole host of other technologies and domains, if you would like to call it. And now you're probably at the intersection of all of these. What influences your previous experiences and your education have on you starting up?
That's a very interesting question, Harish. Very first, when I started my career, I started my career with office automation, and then there was a lot of evolution of technology, even in the digital transformation. As and when we saw, one of the biggest sector which was growing was the retail sector. Now, retail was just about to grow, and it was impacting the GDP of country. So when we started, I started, fortunately working in an environment where everything was from the scratch. Even the my first job was Canon. Canon started in India from the zero, so where all these rocks had actually overtaken. So I learned many things while from the business side and from the customer side. So if you look at my all my past experience, wherever I've come across, whatever I've chosen to be with, there has always been a customer engagement and a customer first as a initiative by the organizations which wherever I have been associated. So that actually connected me with whatever I've chosen so far and whatever I want to be ahead as well. So my past experience in the retail sector showcased multiple things like what exactly is the customer need. The customer could be an end user, or customer is a B2B customer, or you're a direct customer. So if you look at now everything, one cracking thing is that ultimately end of the day is what end customer requirement you will be able to fulfill through different channels. And that's when, if you connect all my experiences, so it is always been an end customer needs which has been fulfilled. So with this, it has actually given me a lot of insights to build our company, which we have started 2.5 years back. Overall experience of my past connect in the industry, and also what is need of an hour in the industry, which is actually amalgamated to come up with this company.
So that's very interesting. So even in the earlier roles, in some of the organizations which are probably now large in India, it's interesting that when it started, you were associated with those companies and it was starting up, and that probably uh, kind of gave you a lot of startup like experience in all of those places. Coming to Ecoprosus itself, I know I pronounced this wrongly. I mean, it's an interesting thing when you corrected me as to what is the name about. So probably you can talk about that, as well as could you please also let our listeners know more about what Ecoprosus does?
Absolutely. So, let me start with what Ecoprocess is all about. Ecoprocess. So, when we actually, when 3 years back, so we've been always been working on when I was a part of the Apollo Tires group as a strategy head and executive vice president for the group. So we were working very in a large aspirational target for the whole group itself, just not by only meeting the revenue, just not by meeting the certain product target initiative. It was overall initiative of the group, which was being fantastic management or a board which took a call that we should be also responsible for the environment. We should be responsible as a corporate social responsible aspects. So one was is to mitigate carbon footprints and also reduce the energy cost was the key things that which I took as an initiative for the group. Since group had a large infrastructure across the world, and even if we actually initiate few automation things, it would have actually impacted bottom line of the organization almost close to 5 to 7%. So that actually enhanced my thought process that which industry and what we should do, because I always been in the other side of the business where being part of the startup ecosystem and seeing the every stage of the growth of the startup cycle and to the exit, and that has actually given me a complete 360-degree view of how the organization should be running. So with that, let's be a walk the talk was decided in the year 2017. So when we decided, so we wanted to be in the sector of energy. That was the area that which we can actually have a just not only satisfaction of generating revenue, it's also satisfaction of where you can actually giving back to the ecosystem. So that sector actually gave me, especially when I connected with my co-founders in a different form that I think I'll talk about them later. So they were also very excited, and so we got into a space of energy efficiency side. So energy is again a vast, it's a ocean. We decided that efficiency is the one area that which can actually change the whatever we have been thinking and whatever the industry needs. So when we actually decided what space as an energy efficiency is a space, we actually formed an organization in such a manner that we will be able to innovate, implement, and execute at real time what industry needs. So when we actually formed that thought process and then decide the company name, so we decided that as we all have come across with various marketing experience, various building the brand experience, we also decided very from the go that our company should also have a unique brand which can actually signifies what we are doing. So we created, with multiple traction, day and night, we decided, I mean, we have been fighting each other what brand name should be there. So we came up with this, unique name called Ecoprosus. So when I say Ecoprosus stands with three words. Eco stands for eco-friendly. The second word consists of process, eco-friendly process, and the last three letter consists of sustainability. So when we actually coined this word, eco-friendly process integrating sustainability in all sectors, that is where the company name Ecoprosus has been formed.
So, Anand, I mean, it's actually a very, very brilliant space that you operate in. So, can you help our listeners in terms of little bit drill down, if I may ask? So, how does a company, for example, benefit by using your services or the services that Ecoprosus gives? So, can you just take some examples so that for the clarity's sake?
Okay, so what we do, I want to just define first. So Ecoprocess is we are a new age digital technology solutions company where so we've been working on various societal and communities problem, especially being focus being on the intelligence behind every city and addressing the global smart cities and communities market. So we provide very comprehensive, customizable, scalable platform that helps cities, which will have an impact on the to solve social, economical, and environmental problems. So how do we do that? we have a very strong focus on IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep understanding of wireless design and connectivity solutions, which has led us to provide a key smart solution. So, Jayant, why did we actually get into this space? As I mentioned before, today we know that energy is not available and it is not cheap, right? And also today, being the competition in the global market, we do not have any control on the business side. What we have a control is on the energy and on the expenses. One of the biggest expenses in the industrial or any side, if you take the example, is the energy. So if you actually save that energy more, by 30 to 40%, that will directly impact to your bottom line almost 5 to 10%. Now with this, okay, you will be able to empower yourself with a better quality and also competition. So our core focus is just not only technology. Our core focus is a combination of a traditional approach and the new age technology integration. So now what we do is we typically do an energy audit. When we do energy audit to the industries, we enable lot of insights from the industry side, and that's where we will be able to implement and execute and reduce the energy cost by working on both the demand side and supply side solution of the energy sector.
Outside the energy audit, when it comes to the technology space, could you also please elaborate on what role the technology plays over there in helping organizations have an eco-friendly process for sustainable energy management that will help?
So what we have done is, so as I mentioned, since a strong focus on IoT and wireless design, which has actually helped on two sectors which we have been focused. So what we have done is, one side is energy for the industry, another side is the new IoT connected connectivity solution for smart cities and various industry automation side. So we have what we have done is there are two sides of this story. One is hardware and one is software, right? Now, what IoT does, it connects both the things, right? So we have developed our own platform called Rubix, which has got a platform which integrates IIoT. We have a product called iEnergy, and we work as a system integrator to integrate multiple components, and we have few products called smart poles, smart street lighting, and energy management systems. So now, on the core tech platform side, what we have done is, when it comes to energy sector, now you have multiple data coming into it. That is one side of the story. The other side of the story is there are multiple data to be retrieved from the from the production line. Like so there are today most of the industries which is minimum 1 megawatt to 50 megawatt kind of companies. They might have all kind of products, but it has never been integrated solutions. Simple reason is you can if you look at the best of the best industry today in India, they have all the best equipments from Schneider, ABB, Honeywell, kind of a complete switch gears and everything. But unfortunately, not everything is connected. So now, when it comes to a large production sector, so there are multiple processes. Like there is a heating requirement, there is a cold store system required, then there is a large waste management is required. So, and there is a lot of power supply is required in different form. For example, we've been with our thought process. We were the first one when Premji, Premji Investments, right? Premji Investments did around large portfolio investment to one of the Roorkela, Uttarakhand company called Gold Plus. They are the largest manufacturer of the automobile class, and their plant is almost 25 megawatt. Now, Premji appointed us because of our thought process and our way we want to implement. That time, we never had any customer also. But Premji had multiple other international and national audit companies which come forward. but when people proposed them, so they liked our approach than theirs, and we got appointed. So basically, because we analyze that there has to be a marriage between the data tech and also the hardware components which we are going to integrate in the production level. So this actually enabled a strong player to come with the right solutions, both the sectors.
So your first customer, how you landed, I think that's a good point for me. That one question that I always wanted to ask you, which is, things like IoT, energy as a service, artificial intelligence, smart cities. Sometimes these are like concepts, technologies which are difficult to understand. It is difficult sometimes to even understand. That being the case, when it is either your first customer, as you said, or even the subsequent ones, what were the challenges that you faced over there? Because these are difficult concepts, these are new age concepts, and but energy is something the world has seen since mankind invented fire, right? But to something that is so a basic necessity today, energy, in that you'll have to bring in these concepts and sell it to people. So that to me sounds like a very interesting problem. So would like to hear how you went about it and what were the challenges and what were the typical reactions that you had and typical responses that you had, and the whole story behind it, basically.
Excellent. Let me correct myself as well. Gold Plus was the very first big client, and there was, but for our very first customer was JPS Plastics, which is again in UP, near to Noida, which is called Badot. So one of the largest packaging manufacturing industry in the industry. So before that, Arish, so what we did is we did not want to be just talk in the air and do nothing when it comes to solution, or rather we would very from the first step that we want to take anything was walk the talk perspective only. So what we did is, see, traditional energy audit process is a simpler. You go to any factories, you analyze what is their power purchase pattern, what is their power usage pattern, and what is their process of the manufacturing, and what is that they're actually facing challenges. Is a core data, is a simple data that you wanted to procure. So what we did is we did not bothered about any revenue in the first go. What we did is we went and did a lot of research. So we have visited in the first year close to around 110 factories across the country. So in order to really understand from the grassroots level. So it is that we all the three co-founders of three different genre people. One is core operations guy, one is core technology guy, one is core strategy and marketing guy. We all three visited 110 factories together. So generally what happens is when you're actually building a solution, there is some gap between the customer needs and the development side, what we do in-house. Now, if there is three people who are actually going to be decision makers on both the sides for the customer solution and for the organization development, it becomes a perfect blend of the solution that we're going to bring. So we used to visit together, analyze from the business level, from the production level, from the outer operational level who are actually facing the customers. So having all analyzed, so we actually came up with a very core thought process. We came up with a very strong model of energy servicing contract, which has always been there. So what we did is we became empaneled members for the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. We become accredited for Ministry of Power. We did a lot of certifications in order to connected to the industrial engineers, so that what we actually speak, they should be able to connect, and what we actually advise, they should be able to take it. So on that aspect, so we did multiple audits. We actually recommended in a manner that where they minimum save 30% to 40%. And we did more than 8 to 10 audits, and that has been proven case for us that we saved more than 30% for all of our customers.
This is even before you introduced technology, right?
It was parallel. It was parallel.
Okay.
We had built a technology in the beginning, which was very ad hoc kind of thing. We our focus was, when we actually started a company, was energy audit system or company as a such that we should be able to think parallelly. What we used to do is, on an ad hoc, we used to use our open platforms to integrate multiple things and enable data solutions for the implementation.
Very interesting that you speak about these customers, Anand. Especially, I personally love talking about customers and how a company sort of helping them overcome their issues or problems. So now that we are in that subject, Anand, so I wanted to ask you, now that we're talking about customers, of course, can you also tell our listeners in terms of which is your biggest win so far? So far in your 3 years of journey, which was your biggest win? So we want to hear the success story from you.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like a booster which will be remaining for eternity, because that was the one which we dreamt to be, and we could able to succeed at a very early stage of Ecoprosus creation. So while we've been working on the energy sector for the industries, it is a long haul game, right? So for any organization development, you have your own dream. You have your own families, you have your own ambition and aspiration. You cannot wait for everything to happen at by own place, right? You always do course correction when organization development is happening. So the biggest thing that we adopted, having said that, because all three co-founders and whoever we have been associated with in our organization comes with a very solid pedigree, with solid passion in order to bring some solution and also monetize, and it's become a core passion on those aspects. So we, having cumulatively close to around 110, 20 years of experience in the organization, so we decided that energy sector is good. Energy sector is very optimistic, but it has got its own challenge. You know why? Because every procedure and steps is a very time consuming aspects. Like audit takes minimum 15 to 20 days to get the data of all the company. Then to create a report, it takes 15 to 20 days or close to a month, depending upon the size of the factory. And to implement that, whatever that like we do a lot of waste heat recovery, cogeneration process, and on supply side integrating new age technology like waste to energy implementation, or it could be your different age technologies to be adopted. But unfortunately, all those things is capex driven and also very high time intense business. So each project normally takes 5 to 6 months to come. So we thought this could be a strong foundation for us, but it is a long haul game. So we also parallelly started working on an IoT based solutions, where we saw a huge opportunity in the country, because as you know that India is a developing nation. There's a lot of implementation is going from the government of India, from the central, and Mr. Modi decided of 100 smart cities, and now it is almost close to around 400 towns and districts is also going to be smart. So there was a huge opportunity. So our energy efficiency, while we are actually being able to focus, we also did some of these smart street light projects in Bangalore, which again helped 47% to save energy for the Bangalore Development Authority. So having pedigree of street light management using an IoT based or an embedded solution, so we gradually converted that into an intelligent, by building an intelligence by adding Rubik's platform integration, where we have multiple components in the same street light. We have incorporated with a new design, robust design, where our in-house design, where we can have from same street light, it becomes a centrally controlled street light. It will have a smart display. We'll have a panic button. We'll have an EV charging, environmental sensor, RFID based tagging. So you have and Wi-Fi access. So multiple features we built in the same street light, and that was a need of an hour for the smart cities. And also a camera which has got an AI enabled. So this actually become our super duper success. When we actually conceptualized, and we went and approached a few smart city, and they literally first time they liked the idea. But where have you installed? What have you done? What is your company's turnover? When we said we are a startup and we do not have implemented anything, they literally outrightly rejected us, because in the government projects uh, there is a huge opportunity for any startup or anybody in that matter, because the best investor today across the globe is the government. Government is the best customer for anybody in that matter. It's only that how you actually been able to map and manage the ecosystem, you will become a winner. So then that was again another big problem, that how do we face this? This because this we do not have a tenure that minimum 2 years, 3 years in the company. All those things, it's a long haul story, because we will not be able to wait for the next year to. So what we did is, that's when our strategy worked very well. We started taking, when people were talking about smart pole, smart intelligence system, street lighting, displays, and all those things in the air. We developed a prototype and immediately went to New Delhi Municipal Corporation, which is a mecca of smart city, where all the decision takes place there, which comes under a Ministry of Urban and Home and Urban Affairs, right? Housing and Urban Affairs. So when we went and approached, we're going to walk the talk. We're going to deploy here free of cost, which is again costing around 20 lakh rupees. We went and deployed there, and we showcased to all the people how exactly, first and foremost, our design. They liked the design, and they become excited, and they all called all the stakeholders to have a demo, and we become successful on that demo. Immediately, then our strategy started working, favoring us, irrespective of our lack in tenure and turnover and all those things. They said this is a new technology, you should actually adopt it in a different form. So that's when we are able to start cracking multiple smart city inquiries, and so in the very second year, so we've been able to grab 4 smart city orders with close to around 10 cr order value, and we are now within a span of 6 months, we've been able to succeed and implement these projects, and we are looking forward in a very big way in this particular sector.
Wow, Anand, wonderful. I mean, just the sheer numbers sort of excites me. So again, that having said that, I have a quick follow-up question on this. Typically, if you were to work with any of the government organization or PSU for that matter, the payment cycle is a bit lengthy, right? So I'm just sort of talking about a little bit specific now. So if the payment cycle is that lengthy for a startup like yours, so how do you sort of manage your cash flows?
It's a very, very tricky situation of, right? You firstly, when you are in a startup company, you need to prove yourself, your solutions, your technology, your people. All these things is very important to prove yourself and to the rest of the world. So you crave for the best customer, right? That is one side. Number two, yes, there is a always challenge for the payment, not just only government sector. Now today, even in every private sector also is not that easy to get the payment. Now, what matters is how do you actually map your strategy to engage in this scenario. It always, and this strategy cannot be one-time strategy. It has to be an ad hoc and tactical for every action that you're going to take with every unique project that you are going to take. So now, firstly, you need to understand government is just not only a tender based companies, right? Government will also have a multiple ways to get the solutions, especially uh, today it's a blessing in disguise for the startups, because made in India and government is enabled that MSME is the one that need to have X proportionate of business in every tender. Earlier, it was no such scheme, but it was always purely that how you build relationship, how you actually showcase your proof of concept and win the confidence. What matters most. So, Jayant, in the government, it is not necessary that you need to wait for the payment to come after you implemented or you given your products. You will also have certain ways to procure advances, and based on the government projects, you will also be able to raise funds from the banks, and you will be able to manage the whole delivery process.
Ecoprosus has been a bootstrapped company, right? Was there any specific reason why you stayed bootstrapped? And a self-funded company. What are the advantages you had because of being bootstrapped? And also, I think you did touch upon some of the challenges, but if there is something more that you can elaborate on, like as a bootstrapped company, what are typically the challenges that you would face, and what were your strategies and tactics to deal with those challenges?
Well, see, now when we actually create in a typical startup environment, it is about belief system, right? Your internal belief system, and people who want to associate with you is what matters most. If this equation is being managed, and this equation has when come together 100%, then probably lot of problem gets resolved by itself. So, as you know, since we decided bootstrapping, because we know we created a unique way, we parallelly also been trying to raise funds, and we got multiple venture capitalists and various people showcased our interest. But the way I think in early stage, if you pick, you are unnecessarily you're given your exposure to your thought process and your development of where you want to be. So, having been all of us worked in a corporate environment and seen a lot of exits and seen a lot of fundraising for the organizations, so we know what are the challenges if you take the early stage fund, or what is that if you take in the growth stage fund. So we clearly demarked, should we go for an early stage fund or the growth stage fund? Now, early stage fund, is fund is required when you need to have your people in place, you need to have developed technology in place, you need to have your strategy in place, you need to have your first customer in place. All these things comes in for the early stage fund, right? That's where you try to depend upon. When we actually eradicated that, we eradicated that because of our clear thought process of our team and our way implemented, and we created development. We one side for the organization development, we clearly created our business way forward. Number parallelly in between, we created an operational channel where we can optimize resources. You don't have to hire people every day. We can optimize resources and handle them. Number three, you need to have a suppliers and your manufacturers and your vendors intact. Now these three formulas we cracked it at an early stage. Now today we could able to deliver 10 crores worth project is simply because even though we not raised fund, we got little bit of angel fund here and there. Other than that, we optimize our relationship with our partners and service providers in the country, and we also been able to raise advances from our customers, and that made us to well equipped to go. So the reason, because we decided if we finish this project, okay, and we are being able to showcase that walk the talk. We have built a technology which has been integrated for smart city. We are integrated to the energy, and this is a perfect blend. Anybody to come forward and put money, and so we decided that we will raise funds only post finishing our projects of these four smart cities, and that's we are in now in the cusp of having a dialogues with multiple people, and hopefully, we will be succeeding over there also to have a second phase of Ecoprosus going in a different tangent.
Anand, I think there are companies that serve markets predominantly in the West, right? You have a lot of technology companies who do that, and there are pros and cons with that. And Ecoprocess is, at least for now, playing a predominant role in the Indian market. And so one of the things that I often hear, about technology companies is, these are technology companies. These technologies don't, you can't sell them very well in India. You have to either, people don't care about the technology or are very price sensitive. But you have kind of managed to prove some of those wrong. And also, there's the aspect of, you may call it, like a little patriotic or jingoistic or whatever you want to call it. But at least, I suppose there is a sense of satisfaction as well in serving your own country. So, on these things, what's your perspective and comments on these, Anand?
You're right, actually. I mean, there is always been a misconception in the industry that, any new technology, it's not easy to embrace by anybody and everybody, right? The ultimate, people who have been succeeded, whether it is a technology or it is anything you say, you need to, provide a solution for a problem, especially for an end customer. If you've done anything as a customer first aspect, probably we connected our end customer, we connected our customers so deeply that we only been focused. For him, it doesn't matter what technology is enabling him to reduce 30%, right? His bottom line is, we've been emphasizing, is only about results, right? His bottom line is, what is that, how is it actually going to be impacted, with his investment as an ROI. So these are the areas that, anybody should be focusing. You don't have to talk about technology. We have built OS on Ubuntu, or it is on Python, or anything. That doesn't sound anybody great, right? What it sounds is great. Okay, I have a problem and you've solved this, and this is your cost, and it is impressible. So this is where, is a simple thing, everybody will connect with, right? So that is where we have been able to succeed, because we never spoken to them with our technology or anything. All that we say is, boss, we simply reduce your 30%, or we simply integrate and make your life better with our platform, and we'll be able to reduce your cost. So with that, let's sit. When we actually engage with the project, and how are we going to deliver? So this is where we're going to deliver. So this is how simple that, which makes people to connect and engage with us.
Yeah, Anand, I have a quick question here. So, like you rightly mentioned, you have really understanding partners, really understanding clients as well. So I have a slightly different take. So I want you to sort of talk about your business partners as well, right? End of the day, it's when it's in the loose talk, it's called as marriage apart from the legal is what the co-founder or a partner keeps for you, right? So how impactful, or how did you get your game right when choosing a co-partner as a co-founder, and why do you think it's working for you?
Yeah. It's a most critical and sensitive topic which you took, Jayant, and because if your in-house strong, rest everything will be stronger, right? And choosing the partners, choosing the co-founders is one of the is you succeeded almost like 60% of your business. Rest everything is time. I mean, probably our choosing partnership was not inorganic; it was very organic. So, very interesting thing is my other co-founder is Mayank Kela, and Ramesh Murthy is in technology, and Nalin Kansal from Bangalore. So we all three were never met 3 years back. three and a half years, I would say. In 2016, in 2015, when I moved to Delhi, I started playing tennis, and first 6 months I never met this gentleman called Mayank Kela, because he was playing in other court, and I always used to see him and he used to see me, but never even said hi to him. But we used to see each other, because we realized later what is the commonality between that first 6 months, why we did not meet, and after that we met. I'll tell you about that later. So when we started playing tennis, we got connected, and the reason because we one day that both the partners were not there in the tennis court, and we both have to come together and play. And when we started playing together, we realized that first 6 months when we started playing this, the both the partners side of other court were actually weak. They were never been able to play the way we wanted to play together. So we got connected over there. So that's the time that we got like literally like a soul connect when we were playing tennis. And we were hardcore, and we have been able to play each other very strongly, and we enjoyed our game every day. So we played almost close to a year and a half, and then one fine day, I know we suddenly bug came in my mind that we should be able to do something, and he also took, after 3 months after we spoke about that day, that night, 3 months later, he resigned the company and he said, Anand, I'm there now. Let's do whatever we want. And so that's the reaction and the response came from my co-founder Mayank, and we become from close buddy to our partners. And we shifted from Bangalore. I shifted from Delhi to Gurgaon, and my other partner was always been in the energy sector for last quite some time. And it is an Hindu undivided family, and they've been running very contently, not having major desire or aspiration to grow, but they were okay, whatever they're doing, they were doing the best. And so we actually came together and combined our thought process, and we wanted to be there. And Ramesh Murthy is the one. He has worked for most of the large corporates in the IT sector. He was one of the core team member of Wipro, building multiple NOC centers, and he was one of the key management guy from Accenture, built from 11-member team to almost 14,000 member team. So he also had actually decided to do something on his own, and so all these people we came together. It was like somebody was stitching a cloth. Somebody was stitching every thread by thread, and we got connected. And from there, no looking back, because we were very clear and we are very matured enough to what we actually want. And all of us are in favor of on one thing, that money will follow us if we actually able to deliver. So we build one single thought process, which I always keep saying, and that's my status quo as well today. That build a company from customer first side, and people and build people from the company side. So this was the thought process that and that's when we've been able to come together and deliver so far.
Wow, great story, Anand. It's really, good things do happen. You never know when it hits you, but when it hits you, it hits you good. Really, really nice story, Anand. Thanks for sharing with us.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So my final question for today, Anand. So we call this podcast a Swatantra podcast because we believe, it's about bootstrapping, and bootstrapping is about, staying independent and things like that, right? To freedom to do what you want, freedom to execute the vision of your company independently, a lot of those things. So on that theme, or on that thread, the question that I have is, what in your opinion makes someone or a business truly Swatantra?
I mean, to me, honestly, what matters most is that you need to have a respect in the industry by commanding respect. Is a simple way that you work for the customer first, and build organization from the keeping people as a first. And with this combination, I think anybody and everybody can do and follow their dreams invariably, with all their freedoms. Rest everything will follow.
That's a great piece of advice to everybody who is looking at starting up or starting to build a business, Anand.
So yeah, my last question for you, Anand, is on your company itself. So I see on a footer you say, "We earn when you save." If you could just spend a minute or if you can spend a minute or two in terms of why exactly we earn when you save, I think that would be a very good wrap.
Oh, lovely. I mean, you rightly caught the point, I know. So, always, we've been working on the energy efficiency side. So, in the thumb rule of energy efficiency is saving, right? So, our major initiative so far, and it's going to be ahead also, is that by default, when you actually implement our solutions, you're going to save, and when you save, you're going to make money.
Yeah, that's a great point to kind of.
Wow, that is a very good thought.
Yeah, that's a very good thought. So, Anand, I think this was a fascinating conversation. A lot of insights, a lot of interesting experiences from your end in building Ecoprosus. Thanks a lot for your time. It was really pleasure having you on the show, Anand.
It's my pleasure, Arish, and equally, it's very nice to engage in this kind of podium from colleagues to interviewing.
Yeah, I think that's also an interesting thing. Maybe our listeners may not know that both Jayant and I have worked with Anand in some of our previous organizations. So we have been colleagues as well in the past. Yeah, that's a nice thing to note as well, Anand. Yeah.
Fantastic. I wish you all the best to both of you, and I'm sure you're going to rock. I mean, my prayers to God that you rock and you succeed and you become prosperous soon.
Sure.
Thank you, Anand. Thanks
for your
a lot. You please stay safe, and it was really good talking to you. Thank you.
Same here, and safe. Yeah, and it's a time probably passing cloud will go, and we'll all thrive back again.